Hey, it's Shai Schwartzman with the Done For You video and audio online broadcasting system, and I'm coming at you with a new hot off the press video. It's a best practices session that I just conducted with CP Millionaire Agent Coach Todd Walters, and along with Todd joined me Sandy Casella and Bill Watson. Now, Sandy's a top CP Millionaire Agent program member. She's from Mississauga, Ontario. That's just outside of Toronto. And Bill Watson. Bill is a longtime member, top member from Denver, Colorado. I had the privilege of having Todd Walters join me to moderate and dig deep with questions to the panel on an awesome way to get more listings with your for sale signs. Sandy and Bill showed us in detail how they get more listings with signage and how they leverage your listings to get more listings with HouseTalk. Sellers love HouseTalk because it gives their property great exposure. Buyers love the ease of use and getting instant information on properties with less hassle. So keep watching, enjoy the video, and talk to you on the other side.
Hey everyone, welcome. Now, let's get right into it. Most of you are very familiar with the Craig Proctor system, okay? And you know that the purpose of your for sale sign when you throw it in the front yard is not to do anything other than get more listings. If you believe your for sale sign is to sell the house, wrong. You don't need for sale signs to sell these listings. You guys know that, okay? If you think your for sale sign is to, quote, get buyer calls, no, you can get buyer calls all kinds of different ways. And what about the people who aren't interested in that listing? They're not calling you. So the purpose of your signage in front of the listing is bigger than what the industry norm and standard is, and that is to get listings. You put a for sale sign in the front yard is to get more listings. So Craig recognized this decades ago. So he used a system called Radio Talking House. You guys know what that is. You pull up in front of the house and you tune your car radio to the station that's advertised on the sign. Okay, you reach over, you tune your car radio station to 6:40 a.m. or whatever it was, 5:40 a.m. And immediately through the car radio, you would hear Craig's voice about a little bit about the house and about, hey, if you got a home to sell, we can actually guarantee the sale of your home. And if it doesn't sell at a price agreeable to you, I'll buy it myself. So that's all part of the message and the scripting, right? Okay, well, personally, I had 300 radio transmitters, I think was the number. It was 300 radio transmitters when I sold my real estate business in April of 2009. So that's how big I thought it was, right? It worked. We crushed it with getting people to stop in front of the listings, tune their car radio station to that, and immediately start hearing a commercial about why they should call me if they need to sell their house. Okay? All right, now, there were problems. There were problems with this. You guys know what it is. We put the radio thing in the house there, and it just wouldn't work all the time. They were static. There'd be a power surge. It would go out and quit working. Got to run back out there to the house, unplug it, plug it back in. And some houses wouldn't even work at all. There was overhead interference and other things like that. So this went on for years until our good pal at Lifestyle Media, Shai Schwartzman, basically took an online podcasting system and turned it into a foolproof talking house. So taking advantage of modern technology like car Wi-Fi and smartphone technology, well, just like you can get radio over the internet, well, that's what it is. So it's an audio message, a radio message, doing the same thing that we used on Radio Talking House, but this way through a URL, okay? And then we call it HouseTalk. And how to use this to get a lot more listings. Okay, so with that, I'm going to kick it over to my pal here, Lifestyle Media, Shai Schwartzman. Shai, how are you, my man?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, my pleasure. So there kind of gives you everybody the background. And I want to make sure that we're clear on the need. So if you're looking at this sign setup, this is a Craig Proctor for sale sign marketing system setup. This is the system right here you're looking at, okay? You got your buy this home, I'll buy yours rider. You got your URL that drives people to a move up, trade up offer online, your big number on the for sale sign, and your secondary sign sitting right next to that. And the secondary sign is talking house, not an information line, but something with more novelty. So let's address that right away, Shai, because a lot of members have somehow believed that they can throw an information line up on a secondary sign, and that will work to get them leads. And the answer is yes, you'll get leads from that, but the leads really aren't leaving you a message, are they? So those of you who are using info lines on secondary signs, let me tell you what you're doing. You're telling people to call this information line, and you'll give them the information on the house, whatever, without having to talk to an agent, right? Okay. So they do that, and when they do, they listen and hang up for most of you. Okay, not anything is happening. And if I'm not mistaken, most of you do not want more leads that you can't reach, more leads that are not interested in talking to you, more leads that you're having to chase down, right? What you want are more prospects calling you saying, hey, I want to talk to you about selling my house. Hey, what is this guaranteed sell thing? How's that work? Hey, I heard this thing where you said you'd buy my home if it doesn't sell. Like, what's that about? How many of you want more of those calls? Okay, well, great. That's why HouseTalk exists. It's to help you get more of those people calling. So the novelty factor is important here. So if you can look at the sign here, you see the novelty factor. It says, hey, stop, tune your car Wi-Fi to 1065 Gunner Court or housetalk1.com or whatever URL you've got here, or your smartphone, just go to housetalk1.com or 1065gunnercourt.com, and that's a special URL that you've registered, and it's going to forward right to that listing right on their smartphone or car Wi-Fi, and they're going to be able to hear essentially the same exact thing that we did with Radio Talking House for 2 decades, right? But it's permanent, and there's no interference, no issues. And you know what else? All your other listings are there as well. Plus, you get to make other offers. Plus, there's a picture. So it's like Radio Talking House on steroids, is what I like to call it, Shai. So am I giving it a fair assessment here?
To dovetail with that, the idea behind HouseTalk is to connect you with your voice to the prospect, so they hear your voice. You let them know about the guarantee, any other special consumer programs that you offer, and then you get into the main property description. And the nice thing about, or what we find that is more appealing, is sort of that mystery with the voice. Because people say, well, why don't we just show them a video? But we find that when people see a video, they're more like, yeah, the house is too big, I don't like the color. When it's just audio, it paints another picture in their mind. When we talk about a traditional four-bedroom home with a perfect level backyard, tree line, privacy, whatever that means to the prospect is what is the picture in their head. So there's no visual to discount them from contacting you.
That is a great word picture that you just created, Shai. Because a lot of people believe that, well, look at, man, if that's all you got to do, guys, you just record more videos, do more virtual tours, and that'll get you more listings. Well, then just do more of that. But you already know how that works. People look at it and they go away. They look at it, they go away. So creating a word picture, that's how you generate leads. Now, my suggestion is that you stick to the system, okay? Shai, Lifestyle Media, our great vendor here putting this together, Craig and I are going to tell you, leverage the listing to get more listings. So focus on move-up buyers, focus on your USP, use a little bit of the property, the high points to it, to make sure people understand that you're a solution to their biggest problem, getting rid of the home so they can buy another one. That's the purpose of HouseTalk. That's why it's born. That's why it works. And you'll get more listings. When you deviate from that, you're going to run into some issues. All right. Tell us a little bit. All right. So I think I get the overall picture, Shai. So I go to the URL on the sign. And let me address that real quick, like Shai. So when I go to the URL on the sign, my first thought is that I've got to go to GoDaddy, and I got to register a URL for every listing I bring on, but that's not true. is it?
No, what you can do, and I've invited a couple of our members onto today's webinar to share best practices with everyone, how they're using it in their business. And the first person I have is Sandy, and I'll bring Sandy on in a moment, and she could tell us how the success that she's having with HouseTalk. But you can. There's two options. One is, yes, each house would have its own URL, and I kind of like that because you're standing in front of 123 Main Street you type in 123mainstreet.com. I like that. It's easy, it's simple, they don't have to think about it too much. The other option, and I believe Bill Watson, who I invited as well, I believe does that as well, and he could talk about that, is to register 2, 3, 4 URLs. For example, you could do housetalk1.com, housetalk2.com. If you're in Atlanta or a certain part of Atlanta, you could do MariettaHT1.com, MariettaHouseTalk.2.com. And so you could do different combinations, and what you could just do is in that option is just reuse the URLs. So because what happens is when you upload a home to HouseTalk, there's a back end, so you'd log into the back end, and we have training videos that show you how to do all of this. It's real simple. You upload your audio for that house, you record it, and again, we show you how to do that. And each property that you upload generates a unique URL on the system. So the system will generate a unique URL. Then you take that URL and then you forward it. If you're with GoDaddy, you just go onto the control panel. And again, we have a video that shows you how to do that. You go onto the back end of GoDaddy and you just redirect it. So if your URL is MariettaHouseTalk1.com, then you just redirect the HouseTalk URL. So when someone types in MariettaHouseTalk1.com, that particular house will show up. And then you could just keep that URL connected to it until you sell the house, and then you can just reuse it for something else. The system gives you statistics. So if you're if you have 123 Main Street, then you can see how many overall views you get, how many unique views you get. And so you can see how many people have gotten information. It's information you can use for your seller to let them know how much traffic you're generating for their home, with buyers coming, driving by, walking by, etc. And secondly, the benefit is that people call you. So and Sandy can talk about this, and Bill. They can also see your other listings. Mm-hmm. So as you build up your listing,
that's
inventory,
look. Let's don't gloss over that, dude. That is a big deal. I'm leveraging my listing. Let me make sure everybody gets this. Leverage your listing to get more listings. Leverage your list. Write that down. Leverage your listing to get more listings. So it would only make sense that if I'm advertising one home and I'm using my USP and some creative language here to get more listings, what would happen if when you get to that place, it's not just one listing? Like, everybody think this through. Wouldn't it be great if when a prospect goes to Zillow, for example, if you're in the States, prospect goes to Zillow, and they only see your listings? And you can put anything you want into pictures. You can say anything you want in the remarks. Your home sold, guaranteed, or I'll buy it, or whatever. Your phone number is the one that shows up there. Would you get more leads? Of course you would. Everybody would. That's like what you're fighting to try to accomplish. So here you go. It's been delivered to you on a silver platter here with HouseTalk, and I aim to make this thing, with the help of Shai here, really, really, really good for everyone, because it's been a freaking jackpot for us. Let's talk to Sandy and let's see what's happening with her on this, Shai. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me unmute Sandy. Sandy, are you there?
I am here. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Can
Thanks
you hear
so
me?
much for joining
Good.
us today on the webinar.
It's my pleasure.
So, Sandy, tell me a little bit about how you got involved with HouseTalk, and what you like about it. I'm going to put up your picture here with your sign. So, tell us how you're using it. Nope. How you're using it, and the benefits that you've derived so far. Because we see here that you get a lot of views.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually love this. You talked about this at one of the conferences that I was at, and I was just all over this. I thought this was an absolutely great idea. It costs very little per month to do this, but that really makes the sign stand out. So I think using this as a listing tool is helps you get the listing because it makes you different. Nobody else is using. There's nobody in Mississauga that's using this. There's 45,000 other real estate agents here. Nobody else is using this. I just think it's amazing. So you can see my sign there. I wish I could use this more for some condos too, because I'm getting some condo listings that it's not really easy for me to use it for that, but I wish I could. But I will tell you, I did switch those domain names. Like on there, I have the actual address of the property, but I switched them now. I bought all URLs that I'll just keep reusing.
Yeah, I like, hey, you know what? You could just go SC, like Sandy Cassell, SC HouseTalk 1, SC HouseTalk 2.
Yeah, actually, you know what I did? I just took like, I have HouseTalk 416, so 416 is the area code in our area, or 905. I just kind of played with those, like GTA, HouseTalk, different things like that. Because you know what I think, because what will happen is with this URL, eventually this URL, I won't pay for this after a year. I won't renew this URL because this house is sold, but I want people to be able to still, somehow, some way that, gets in syndication, someone sees that URL, they wouldn't be able to go there. So I actually really like this. It really does make you stand out. Between this and using the converter, the bomb, the one that I send out, it's I very rarely lose out on a listing.
And Sandy, are you getting more phone calls, or are people calling you on your cell more since you started using HouseTalk?
Yeah, I do. My sign calls have gone up quite a bit in the last, I'm going to say in the last about 2 months, my sign calls have gone up quite a bit, where people will call my cell phone and stuff. So I would say it's directly related to this.
And I mean, obviously, the more people that call you, and the house is, you explain the house, but again, it's not about selling the house, it's about generating leads. Because now, well, what are you looking for in a house, Mr. and Mrs. Home Seller?
Yeah, well, obviously, when people call me, I just go into the script and then I'm trying to book an appointment with them. But what I like about this is I'm sure that when you look at those numbers, I'm sure that a lot of people who are going to that URL are the neighbors. And that's who I want going there, right? I want the neighbors going there so that when they're thinking of selling, they're seeing if they're seeing my sign in the neighborhood and they're seeing other real estate agents in the neighborhood who aren't doing this, then I'm going to get those people calling me.
Right.
That's what I like about it, because I think it will get me more listings down the road.
Well, that's a great point. Now, speaking of getting more listings, we provide you with a video that you can put into your PowerPoint, and which explains HouseTalk in a very fun, animated way to the seller when you're making your listing presentation. How are sellers receptive to HouseTalk when you're presenting your listing presentation?
Well, this makes you stand out, right? It makes you unique, makes you stand out. So they see that there's, I'm talking about demand and how I'm going to create more demand for their listing. And this obviously helps to bring that all, that whole package forward, that we're going to be able to create more demand because people are able to get more information on the property. So we're going to get more calls. We're going to get more people looking at this. So sellers really like it because it obviously makes you different. It makes you stand out, and you're doing a little bit more than what the average agent is doing.
Thanks, Sandy, very much for
thank you
for that. If you can hang on the line, I'd like to bring on Bill.
Absolutely.
Bill Watson, who's a good friend of ours. Tell us about your HouseTalk experience.
I had the radio transmitters in Denver, And the problem that I was having was the station started to get taken up. It was hard to get a good, clear transmission. So we quit using those. And then what I did was I kind of took the Talking House concept and I used the 800 numbers for a while to do it that way. And then of course, when you came up with HouseTalk, I mean, I think I was signing up with it and Todd was only halfway through the presentation because I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So there's a couple things. One is I have seen an increase in phone calls as it relates from our listings, and we literally just did a deal where now it didn't come. It turned out to be a buyer, but he heard it on. He drove up in front of the listing, heard it on HouseTalk, gave me a call. We went and showed him the house. He didn't like that one. We signed him up as a buyer's agent, and he turned around and bought another house for about 540 grand. And I'm not so sure that would have happened. The thing that I like about HouseTalk is, first of all, what I did was the minute that I saw it, because I'm kind of lazy and I didn't want to have to generate new stickers, I went to GoDaddy and I got HouseTalk 1 through HouseTalk25 .com. And so then what we do is we just set those up that way. And then the other thing is that we never take anything off of our HouseTalk site, right? So just like Todd said, even though the house sold, it still shows up there. And so when somebody looks on there, they see a lot of different listings. When we go on from the listing appointment side, the thing that we stress is that our goal is to make sure that we attract 100% of the market that has the potential of buying their house. And one of the ways that we do that, obviously, is with our signage in the front yard, and HouseTalk is, besides our real estate side, the big part of that. Right from the very beginning, when I started with Craig, one of the biggest things was that people can get information on our houses 24 hours, 7 days a week, and not have to talk to an agent. And because of that, we just simply get more phone calls, right? And that's what HouseTalk does for us. With the signage out in front, it makes their house stand out more, right? Because the buyer is seeing something that they haven't seen. And our sellers love it because most people in this marketplace still use the antiquated brochure box that got invented in 1978. And they're always empty, and it's deletion marketing. Whereas the HouseTalk is not deletion marketing. It draws, right? It draws the buyer into the experience, and gives us a better opportunity to not just sell that house, but really gives us a better opportunity to get more clients from the signage. And so we use it on everything. And Sandy, I know condos are tough, but if you got one with a marketing window where people can see it, we just tape it up in the window. And
yeah, that's a good idea.
And just leave it at that. So, but it goes on all of our listings now. So it's our signage, it's our we'll buy you, buy this house and we'll buy yours later, and then it's the HouseTalk sign right there in the front yard.
And for listings, Bill, are you showing listing appointments?
Oh, I use the video. Yeah, no, it is. It's a big part of our listing appointment, right? So we've got the 800 ads, the 1-800 number ads, and then we go right into the HouseTalk. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that was my point. On our listing appointments, it really drives home why we're different, why we're going to create more demand for the house. Because of that demand, we're going to maximize their equity, right? And so we're going to do the 3 things that our listing presentation says. We're going to get more home for your market. We're going to do it in less time, and we're going to do it with the least amount of hassle. And HouseTalk helps us achieve that.
And Todd, the nice thing about HouseTalk is that it doesn't really matter how many people listen, and this is for everyone out there, everyone on today's webinar. You can have as many people listen to it. There's no 800, like with the 800 line, you're paying toll charges. There is no other cost. You can have 1 million people listen to it.
It's beautiful.
You could share it. I mean, you could even take the link and share it online and direct people to HouseTalk. So, I mean, it was developed with the signage, but we're also experimenting with using it on social media. There's a lot more that you can do with HouseTalk. Plus, again, there's no hardware you need like Talking House. Everyone's got a phone, or many people have a phone in their hand. As long as they have an internet connection or cellular connection, they can hear your HouseTalk.
Mm-hmm. I think what Bill was saying was all of the guys who used Radio Talking House, they've been around a while, are coaches, and millionaire agent, multi-millionaire agent members. Guys who use Radio Talking House. They went out and did this immediately when we rolled it out and say, hey, here's the latest and greatest upgrade to Radio Talking House. They did it immediately because it was infinitely less money and 100% no problem. Like, there's no issues when delivering the message. So it was just way better. So anyway, that's it. All right.
Yeah, so I was never able to get those Radio Talking House signs here. I wasn't able to buy them. I tried to buy them and they never ever showed up. So I was really happy when this came out.
You're right about that. The guy who owned the company that had it for years, I forget his name, he passed away. So the company kind of floundered in lingo for a while, and somebody picked it up. And you can go online and find these Radio Talking House transmitters, but I think it's $200 or some such for a brand new transmitter. It's crazy. I mean, when based on what we have available to us here, that it almost makes it obsolete.
And Sandy and Bill were talking about the video. So we give you a video that you can download. So in your welcome, when you register and to get your Talking House subscription or your account, we will send you in your welcome email a link where you can download the video that you can simply pop into your Millionaire Agent listing presentation. And we also give you the signed files. So you can download, we have the files in a bunch of different formats in EPS, PDF, JPEG, Photoshop. So you could take any of those files, give them to your printer or sign maker, and all you need to do is put the URL where you see here 123 Main Street. Just put the URL that you're going to use for that particular house. Mm-hmm. And if you get a series of URLs like Bill, then you're good to go. We also give you directional signs. So if you want to put out any signage in and around the neighborhood directing traffic to that particular HouseTalk sign that's in front of your listing, we give you those as well. So all you need to do is download the files and get them printed. Now, the other thing that you can add to your signage is a QR code. So like the URL, you can add a QR code, and some people like to have that option where people can just walk up to the sign, or from a distance they can hold their phone camera up, and you can create in the back end. We have our HouseTalk QR code generator where you can generate a QR code and then have that printed on your sign as well. So, for people who don't want to type it in, they could just, with the camera phone, just get it. It would go directly to that HouseTalk page for that particular home. And we also give you the script, which Todd, you wrote, and we do we've created in HouseTalk in the back end. We have 3 sections we call the pre-roll, which is the team leader, because you want to connect with your prospects or the people that listen to you or that are listening to HouseTalk. You want them to hear your voice. You want to be able to connect with them, so it's almost like a one-to-one talk. So this is where you can, hi, this is, and your name here. Basically, you could use it pretty much as is. And this is where the team leader records the pre-roll. And if you go look at the bottom, what we call the post roll or the call to action. And then the middle part is the property description. And the property description, either the team leader can do for each house, but why we've divided that is that the team leader really only has to record that opening and that close. And then that only has to be done one time. And then the main property description could be recorded by the inside salesperson or an admin person. And then only that would need to change for each property. And so the team leader doesn't have to take up their time to record an intro and an out for each and every house. So we thought of that as well. And then Ken, we have training videos on how to use it, and we're here to support you as well. I don't know if Sandy's still on. Let me just see if Sandy's still. Are you still there, Sandy?
I am, yes.
How long did it take you to set up when you first got it? Was it difficult?
No, it's not difficult at all. It's all fairly easy to work, so not too hard. If I can do it, probably anybody can do it.
And Bill, did it take you? I know Bill, if you're there, how did it take you a long time to set it up?
No, it was a piece of cake. And what we did for the recordings was I went on Amazon and they sell this. It was only like 30 or 40 bucks, a real high quality microphone that is portable. And then I went and downloaded a program called Audacity that we use to do the recording. And we just, it's a very high quality app that you can get for nothing. And we do the recordings, we save the file, we upload it into the section that we want in it, and it's done. We have Haley now in our office that sets up the whole thing. And I think now, I think she's like done in 10 or 15 minutes with each one, with recording and everything else. And then what I did on my post roll is I took the recording from my radio advertising. So the pre-roll is my voice. The middle one is Haley doing the description of the house. And then the post roll is my radio ad. So it gives a little variety in there too.
That's great. I appreciate that. And if anyone has like a microphone that you use for webinars, I mean, you can use that, like a headset, you can use that. And if you're on a PC, there's a free, just in the, I think in accessories here, there's a free sound recorder. So you can download Audacity just like Bill did, or if you have a PC, there's sound recorder here that you can record with a microphone. If you have a Mac, I believe there's a sound recorder as well that is very similar to something on a PC. So I'm just on a PC now, so I'm showing you that. But if you have a Mac, there's an equivalent. So you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money to if you have a microphone, or if you have if you have a PC or a computer, you're pretty much all set.
Sorry, you don't need anything extra. I mean, I just do this on my phone. I just record it on my phone, and then that's how my admin does it. I don't know how she gets it on there, but I just do the recording on my phone on my recording thing, and then I think I email it, and then she just uploads it.
Oh. Yeah, this is not a complicated deal, man. Like if you're getting listings, when you write the listing, there's like you put the sign in the front yard, there's a Craig Proctor system application for that. When you put the listing in Zillow, there's a Craig Proctor application for that. This is part of that, man. Secondary sign. This is cool, man. Yishai, I know it takes some work here to do this. You don't have to do that, helping everybody out here to get it going. So I appreciate it, man. It means a lot.
That was awesome information and great best practices. Now that you have HouseTalk, keep implementing the program to success like these members are. And if you have any questions about HouseTalk, please feel free to contact me using the information on the screen. And don't forget to use the HouseTalk promotional video in your CP Millionaire Agent System PowerPoint presentation when you're presenting to seller prospects. We created this short video for you to include in your listing presentation so you can share with your seller prospects the benefits of HouseTalk. And this is a great consumer program, a unique consumer program that you have that is included with all of the listings that you take. So if you haven't gotten your hands on it yet, email me and we'll get you a link that you can download. Did you know that HouseTalk is now bundled with the Ultimate Converters? If you have the Ultimate Converter and are not yet using HouseTalk, please contact me and I'll get you set up. It's included with your Ultimate Converter bundle. And then conversely, if you have HouseTalk, why not try the Ultimate Converter for free for the next 30 days? It's easy to get started. To get more information on the program that includes the Ultimate Converter bundle, which is the seller, buyer, and recruiting online presentation kits that you can customize for every client. Also included is the video casting site. That's your exclusive YouTube style branded video replay page that includes exclusive animated videos for the program, as well as HouseTalk, which you're familiar with. So if you're using HouseTalk and you would like to upgrade for free to the Ultimate Converter bundle that includes HouseTalk and everything that I've mentioned, this is what you want to do. What you want to do is go to getmemorelistings.com. When you get to the site, scroll down. You can watch more videos and information, members speaking about their experience with the Ultimate Converter bundle. You can read up on what's included with the Ultimate Converters. You can scroll down and actually click on samples of each of the converters: the seller converter, the buyer converter, and recruiting converter. If you click on it, you could take a tour of a sample online presentation kit. And you could take a test drive of what your client can see. Now, with the Ultimate Converters, the best time to send these is when you're confirming the appointment, either by email or by text. And each one of the converters also has a smartphone version, so that if you're sending it to them by text, or if you're sending it to your prospect when you're confirming the appointment by email and they open it on their phone, there's a version that is adapted to the smaller screen. So if you'd like to get started, scroll down to the bottom, click to order here, fill in your information, and you will get a 30-day free trial. When you register at getmemorelistings.com, we'll email you a customization form where you will get information on what you need to send us in order for us to customize all three Ultimate Converters for you: seller, buyer, and recruiting. Once you're customized, it takes a few days, we'll set up a quick start call where we'll get you started easily and effectively using your Ultimate Converter bundle, and of course your free 30-day trial begins at that time. And finally, if you have the Ultimate Converter bundle and you're not using HouseTalk, or you don't have access to your HouseTalk account, please contact me and we'll get you started. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.